Hello, my dearest students, and welcome back. I know your exams are just around the corner, and things can get a little bit tense, right? Don't you worry at all. Today, we're going to have some fun and get you perfectly ready with one of my favorite chapters.
Yes, hello mere pyare bachcho. We're going to dive into all the secrets of how things work. It's full of little bits of magic and science, and trust me, by the end of this, you will feel like a total master of this chapter. So, are you ready? Let's begin.
Now, to make this whole thing super exciting, we're going to follow our two amazing friends, Mira and Dhruv. They are just like you, so curious, and they love asking questions. So come on, let's join them and solve some mysteries together.
Okay, so our first big mystery is all about spinning. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? Why does a top, a letu, spin so perfectly? But if you try to spin, say, your eraser, it just wobbles and falls over. Let's find out why that is.
So our story starts right here, with Mira spinning a coin. We've all done this, haven't we? It goes round and round, so smoothly, so nicely. And watching that got Mira thinking, wait a minute, can everything spin this well? What do you think?
That is the big question, isn't it? So you know what we'll do? We'll act like real scientists. We won't just guess, we'll find out. Just think about the things on your table right now. Maybe a bangle, a piece of stone, your sharpener. Let's imagine what would happen if we tried to spin them.
And here are the results. So, the coin and the bangle, they spin beautifully. And of course, the wooden spinner, the top, it spins like a champion. But look here, the piece of stone and the eraser, nope, they just wobble around and fall flat. So clearly, there's some secret ingredient that some things have and others don't. And here it is, the big secret. The magic word, bachcho, is balance. You see, for something to spin well, its weight has to be spread out evenly. That's it. That's the whole secret.
And this picture shows it perfectly. Just look at these two spinners. The one where the stick is put right in the middle, in the center, it's balanced, so it spins. But the other one, where the stick is off to the side, it's completely unbalanced and just wobbles around. So what's the lesson? Balance around the center is everything.
Okay, now for a cool magic trick, which, by the way, is a very, very popular exam question, so pay attention. If you take a square piece of cardboard, poke a stick through the center, and then spin it really, really fast, poof, it will look like a perfect circle. But how? How can a square turn into a circle?
It's a wonderful little trick that our own eyes play on us. You see, the square is spinning so fast that our brain just can't keep up with where the corners are. It kind of gets confused and just blends everything together. And what we end up seeing is a circle. Amazing, Heina? All right, mystery number 1 is solved. Now for our next big adventure. Imagine this. The rain has just stopped, and Mira and Dhruv are outside. And they have a new challenge for us. Their big question is, what makes something float or sink?
So they did what all of us love to do after the rain. They made paper boats. But they noticed something strange. Some of their boats were sailing happily in the puddle, while others just flipped over and got all wet and soggy. Why did that happen? What was the difference?
Now, this brings us to what most people think. We think, oh, it's simple. Light things float and heavy things sink. But is it really that simple? Let's put on our scientist hats again and actually test this idea out.
Let's look at the clues. A leaf, it's light, and yep, it floats. Okay, that makes sense. But wait a minute. A small iron nail, which is also quite light, it sinks. And now look at this. An empty steel katori, a bowl, which is much heavier than the nail, it actually floats. Wow, that is surprising. So our simple rule of heavy sinks, light floats is definitely not the whole story, is it?
So this is the most important point to understand. It is not just about weight. It's not just about being heavy or light. There is another, much more powerful secret at play here, something that really decides if an object will float or sink.
And that second secret ingredient, my dear students, the real hero of our story, is shape. Yes, the shape of an object is incredibly, incredibly important.
Now, this sentence you see on the screen, this is the most important line in this whole section. Remember it well, okay? By changing the shape of something, you can completely change whether it floats or sinks. Let me show you exactly how.
Check out this super cool trick with aluminum foil. First, you take a flat sheet of foil and place it gently on the water. And look, it floats. Now you take the exact same piece of foil and crush it into a tight little ball. What happens? it sinks. But wait, the magic isn't over. If you take that ball, open it up again, and shape it like a little katori, a small bowl, it floats again. It's the same foil, the same weight, we only change the shape.
This example shows it all. Shape is the real superpower here, and this explains everything. It explains why a tiny iron nail sinks, but a huge, gigantic ship made of thousands and thousands of tons of iron floats so easily on the ocean. It's all because of its hollow, boat-like shape.
All right, my champions, time for the most important part. Let's practice some questions that are going to get you pukka marks, guaranteed marks in your exam. Are you ready? Let's do this.
Okay, here's a very, very common question you might see. Imagine you have a ball of clay. You put it in water, and of course, it sinks right to the bottom. So the question is, what can you do to make that same piece of clay float?
So simple. You all know the secret now, don't you? You just have to change its shape. You can flatten it out into a big, thin sheet, or even better, you can shape it like a little bowl or a boat, and it will float. Easy marks, right?
Okay, one last quick question. Let's go back to our first topic just to make sure we remember it all. Why did that spinner, the one with the hole on the side instead of the center, not spin properly?
The perfect answer for full marks has just 2 simple points. Point number 1, it was not balanced. And point number 2, for anything to spin well, its weight has to be spread out evenly around the center. You write these 2 points and I guarantee you, you will get full marks.
And that's it. We've done it. We've revised the whole chapter. See, it wasn't so difficult at all, was it? You are all absolute superstars. Just remember to be like Meera and Dhruv. Always be curious, keep asking questions, and keep exploring the world around you. If you do that, you will definitely ace your exams. All the very best, bachcho.